Hey everyone, August Severn here with Capital Data Analytics. Today we're going to go over 3 formatting tips for your Tableau dashboards. This will take your dashboards from good to great. So the first tip that we're going to go over is using white space. So this tip has 2 kind of parts to it. So the first part of using white space is not overwhelming the dashboard with too much information. So as you can see here, there's only 4 sheets on the page. Everything else has been left off the dashboard. We're being very intentional with what we're putting on the dashboard. To start out with, this top left portion here, so we have our most important metric on the page. We're using color to draw our eye to it. We're not overwhelming it with a bunch of numbers surrounding it, right? So we're not having these KPIs over the top of it, anything like that. Additionally, this kind of block of, number dump, we'll call it down here, it's lighter. It's kind of pushed in the bottom right corner. So that's for a purpose. We don't want to draw our eye to that huge block of numbers. What we really want to draw our eye to is the most important thing, which is this metric at the top. So that's the first part of using white space. The second part of using white space is the padding in between the visualizations. So as you can see here, we've got a good deal of padding between this, most important metric and the KPIs. So if we put the KPIs right up against this gauge here, your eye is just going to read one long run-on sentence, and that's not going to be good for trying to get the point across, right? So what we want to say is okay, like this is our number here. That's great. Now, these are some general KPIs. That's great. So we're breaking it up as we're looking at it so your brain can kind of process it as you go. So the second formatting tip that we're going to go over is put your bar charts on a diet. So as you can see on this page, I readjusted this. So this is the default size of the bars in Tableau. And then here is kind of a thinner bar. So it helps add in some more white space to these, and that helps kind of make it look a little better. It makes it a little easier to read. It's not kind of doesn't stick out on the page as much. So if we go into here, you can go into your sheet. All you do is you click the size button, turn it down to about half of the default size. Obviously, it'll vary based on how big the sheet is, etc. But that seems to be a good kind of medium there. So this extra white space really helps make these bar charts look good, and bar charts are commonly used. So that formatting tip is very helpful. The final formatting tip is the use of containers. So containering isn't something that you necessarily know right out of the gate when you're using Tableau, but when you open a dashboard and you put stuff on the page, Tableau is starting to build containers. So if you do that and that, all of this kind of separation and layout is getting put into these containers. So you might see tiled on yours if you haven't really been laying it out. You might find it hard to drop it into containers at times, which could be hard in Tableau. But understanding how to use containers and how they work is really going to be a benefit to your layouts. So on this specific page, if you look at the layout, we have a vertical container. So that's our entire dashboard. We're going in a top to bottom fashion. So we have a vertical container to start. Our header is a horizontal container. We have a blank because we have a line kind of in our vertical container at the bottom of that header. Then we have another horizontal, so that's the first section of the data. Another horizontal, because that's the second section of data. And then finally, a horizontal down here, which is just kind of our footer bar to kind of give you some more information. Now within kind of that main structure, so we have the vertical as the whole, horizontals as each section, and then within those, you're going to have more containers. So as you can see, each one of these individual sections is a container. And then additionally, this title here, so that's a horizontal container within there. And why this is important is it allows you to more easily move things, update things. If you're trying to make like these header bars or these title bars with the color and the text, that's using containers to do that. If I want to adjust this entire section because I think it needs more padding, I can just come in here, grab the vertical container, add the padding, and it gets added to that whole section. I don't have to go into every single piece and kind of add in padding. So it gives you a good time savings and allows you to do things that if you didn't know how to do containers, you might be a little stumped on how to get it done. So the 3 formatting tips in review: the use of white space, thinning out your bars, and then finally understanding how containers work in Tableau. And if you can figure those 3 things out, you can make nicer looking dashboards in Tableau.